Welcome to Iconic Cars. I'm Warren Beckwith.
And I'm Jez Murray.
I've had this car in my hands for about 8 weeks now and done around about 700-800 miles. So it's actually time for Jez to get his hands behind the wheel, get to feel about the car, and we make a decision where we're going to go with this car.
Well, I've been waiting for you to get it. 8 weeks has been an awful long time to hold on to. Anyway, I've got behind the wheel at long last, and I've done a whole 40 miles. And I'm in 2 or 3 different minds. I don't know which way we should go with it. We bought the car knowing it needed a few jobs, with lots of ideas of what we might want to do with it. And it's not until you drive it, then you start to get the ideas start to come through. And we've had, how long were we debating this last night? Which way should we go? Which way should we go? And I'm still undecided. But the thing that's apparent to me is a driver's car. And the main thing is about how it feels when you're driving it, how it handles, how it performs. I think it's definitely, underneath it all, for all its little faults it's got in the minute, it's a driver's car.
But I think that's the driver's car because...
And it's a Porsche, that's why.
It's a 964. It was a vast improvement over the G Series car.
Yes, it was.
In so many ways. And I think this car was so costly to build for Porsche, which is why they only really built it for 4 years.
Yeah, and very low numbers as well, and they were slow to sell. They didn't sell very quickly in the beginning, and they were, as you know, known as the ugly duckling, and a lot of the aficionados didn't like it. They said Porsche lost the plot, basically.
People do have trouble adjusting to things. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I think that people were coming out of the 80s, big, bold, loads of money, all that sort of stuff.
Joan Collins shoulder pads.
You know, people were driving around in Vermilion red Bentley Turbo Rs. We had 911 Super Sports, we had 911 Turbos, we had bigger whale tails on. And I think that it brought the car back to what we wanted about a Porsche. And what we wanted about a Porsche was that iconic 911 shape.
So, do we cut it up and make it look like something else?
Well, if we cut it up, the thing is, if we cut this car up, how far do we go with it?
Well, you have to then become a date back, don't you? A retro mod. But I think there's so few left on the road now that in time, this will be the popular car. This will be the car everybody wants, not the date backs, because it's an original car.
Yeah, and I think there's two...
It smells original, and it definitely drives original.
Date backs that throws the market out of place. I mean, people will always go, well, it's a what about Singer? But Singers are so expensive. Is there a niche market to be having a £180,000 964? Well, there probably is. And I know we've got the certain people that we've talked about that makes modifications to these cars. But I don't think any of those people, other than Singer, have made a significant impact. And that's why it makes it undecisive. And I agree with you. I think that so many cars and so many people have tried to do things that I think that this car needs to be...
And you have to get it right
original.
If you're going to do it. You need to do it properly. And I think
Absolutely.
That costs a lot of money. I think we could get this car running right, handling right, and definitely get the engine beefed up a little bit. Breathing properly, idling correctly. I think that's the way forward with the car initially.
Yeah.
And to use it, and rather than spending a lot of money and having everything done all in one go, breaking it up into sections so you can actually feel the way it does. When we put the air intake on, did that improve? Yes. And then move on to the next project and layer cake it all the way up.
Yeah. Will a lightweight flywheel make a big difference? And how will that change the performance? Have we got the right springs and the shocks on the car? It's just about where we go with it to get the best out of it. And the one thing is, this will still be, in my view, a fantastic Grand Tourer, which is what it is.
I think our viewers would be interested anyway in just watching how it evolves over, say, the next year. Going in with your checkbook and leaving a blank check to somebody, which we can't even afford to do that.
No.
So I think this is the way forward.
I think by breaking it down, we're going in it. We're going
and we
in.
Won't necessarily use just one person.
No.
You know, we might use a good engineer on the engines, and then there's different people for the chassis for a start. And I'd like to do the interior at some point, but I think what we could do maybe in the next video is come open the doors, get the sunroof open and show our viewers what's inside and what it looks like at the minute. It's not been touched for 32 years. I think it does need a bit of getting at.
This car does show it's the level of equipment that Porsche
the
used.
durability of this interior is amazing.
For a 32-year-old car, the durability of this car is exceptional. And we wouldn't see that, I don't think, on modern cars today. Let's move on to the next bit. Let's do some more driving. Let's do some more filming. I hope you've enjoyed this so far, but we'll get back to you in a little while.